My concern for occult practices surrounding this case grew even more when I came across a message thread between Coleman and some of her followers. In January of 2022, Dawn went live on Facebook to announce that she was transitioning and would no longer be doing healing work. She said it would be her last live, which turned out to be untrue, but we'll get to that part later.
This is my last live, everyone. I won't be back here. I'm done here. I'm very ancient. I've been coming here so many times to try to help everyone. Because something's happening.
She told her listeners that she was transitioning to a higher extraterrestrial realm. She even proposed they create an altar for her in exchange for her to be their spirit guide. It's customary in many cultures to give offerings to the dead. This is done by leaving artifacts and gifts, which were usually items that once brought the deceased person joy before they passed on. It was evident that a lot of people in the chat were unhappy about this announcement. They were sad she was leaving. "Damn, I hate this, but I understand," one person wrote. "Oh no, you've been a great guide on this side, and you'll be on the other side," another responded. But one woman in particular stood out to me. I'll just refer to her by her initial, B. B starts by asking, "Peace, love. Are you transitioning out of Earth?"
Yes, I am.
Coleman replies that she is. B says, "I'm thinking of doing the same thing, but this baby is keeping me here. I'm not sure if I can handle it much longer." I looked B up on social media to find she was pregnant at the time and referring to her unborn child. Coleman tells her that she doesn't have to stay for the baby, and that if she decides to transition, the baby will transition with her.
Go ahead and set your intentions for that way. You can actually transition while pregnant and go where you go still pregnant. Either way it goes, your soul is so pure, you've been doing so well, your baby will go with you. So you have nothing to worry about.
She also says that she'll be available in spirit should B decide to stay, but ultimately, the decision would be up to her. "I'm going to be on Earth a bit longer for the baby. I'm birthing a new soul. She is the one keeping me here at this time," B writes. B goes back and forth during this conversation. At times, it seems she's content with staying on Earth. Other times, she's unsure if that's what she really wants to do. "Do you think I should stay here a little longer or also transition? I don't know if I can take it here much longer." Someone in the chat replies, "Stay for your baby," putting baby in all caps. To which B replies back, "I don't know what to do for the baby. I'm feeling confused."
The baby will go with her. She don't got to stay here with that baby. The baby will go with her.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of what it means to transition physically, I automatically associate it with dying. Hence the saying people often use to describe a person who's passed on. Depending on your spiritual beliefs, you may have heard something to the effect of Mr. or Mrs. such and such has transitioned. Or if you're a Christian, maybe you've heard the saying they've transitioned to be with the Lord. And not to play semantics with words here, but Coleman was highly offended anytime someone referred to her plan to transition as dying.
"I'm transitioning. I never said that I was dying. I said that I was transitioning on to be more. I have somewhere else to be. I am transitioning. This is my last live. Please don't come in here with the opposite of that. You'll have to leave my live. Because any resistance to what I'm saying will speed up my transition because I'm already in a space that's not in alignment to me."
It was as if she wanted them to understand that she was leaving her physical body, but to call it death was absurd and offensive. And if you couldn't grasp the concept or didn't understand, you would be asked to leave her life. Because those who couldn't understand the difference between transitioning versus dying were the problem, and their presence could cause her to go to her new realm even faster. This revealed to me that even though there were people who revered this woman, not all who followed her fully understood her intentions or the reality of what she was really saying, which was somewhat frightening considering I was reading the words of a pregnant woman who clearly sounded as if she was contemplating taking her own life. Yet, besides the woman suggesting she stay, no one seemed to be alarmed by any of this. So the idea that there were in fact people in the chat who took Coleman's words to mean that she would no longer be on Earth physically, in other words, dead, and everyone proceeded as if they were having a normal conversation, left me feeling like I was missing something. I thought, she can't be serious. Because if I could explain away her words to be that of her speaking figuratively, maybe I could make sense of things. However, the more I listened, the more I realized she did not mince her words, and everyone in the chat continued to engage. Another person said, I once felt like transitioning because people were not raising the frequency, but the ancestors told me I have lots and lots of work to do. Coleman's response to that,
and if you guys are already tired, then you're already pretty much transitioning. Just transition.
Was to just go ahead and transition. Was I really hearing what I thought I was hearing? And did this woman just advise someone to go ahead and unalive herself? I was confused, and by this time, extremely nauseous. There was clearly an element to this that I didn't fully understand. I went back through B's social media history to see if I could get a better idea of who she is and learn more about why she and others who were a part of this group shared this ideology or belief system, whatever it was, because I wasn't sure what to call it. I found that 1 month prior, she'd posted, I want to leave this planet. This isn't my home. Of several responses, these were some of the messages. Someone by the name of Abby says, I so hear you, beautiful sister. I have felt this my whole life. I see you, Angel. I am so grateful you are here. You are held and loved. Jay replies, me too. Been wanting to go home. I understand what you mean, although others may think differently. Jenny says, I love you and completely understand. Leon adds, we'll get home someday. For now, this is home. Hold on, my dear. B replies, I'm not going anywhere just yet. Just been feeling really homesick here on Earth lately. Missing my home planet a lot. Still have work to do here. The energy is intense at times here, but I know we all have a divine purpose and mission here. I deeply appreciate all the love and support from my soul family. So after sifting through old messages, I learned that B also considers herself to be a highly spiritual and gifted being. She too believes she's from another planet. Her profile description says she's a holistic healer and psychotherapist. I was concerned about her well-being, so I also checked to see if there had been any activity on her Facebook or Instagram since commenting in the live chat. And I was relieved to see that though she hadn't been present on either account consistently, she did post periodically, which meant she chose to stick around. And even more relieved to see she'd given birth to her baby girl. She posted that she'd been living off the grid. Coleman was very adamant about the importance of living in nature. She told her followers that was the only way they could receive the special downloads they needed. And judging from B's digital footprint on Instagram, she appeared to be doing just that with her new baby. I did reach out to her via email to see if she could give me a better explanation of her ideology, though she never replied. I noticed when Dawn first started the live stream, she was adamant about leaving because, according to her, her time was up and her physical body had been withering away in transition for nearly 2 months. But something happened during the live that I found strange. There were times I noticed she would sort of backpedal, so to speak, which, in my opinion, was her attempt to leave a tiny window of possibility that if in the event she couldn't find it in herself to follow through with her transition, she just might stay. She told them that her transition was out of her control, and her earthly body had gone through too much physical damage from the work she'd done for them. The blockages she was taking off other people were exiting by way of her own physical body, and she just couldn't endure it much more. However, in the same breath, she also said the more she released those blockages, the lighter she felt because they were no longer a burden on her body. Coleman was full of contradictions, but we'll discuss that part later.
I won't be back here. I'm done here. Because if you could not see that my energy body is falling away as I speak, and it's getting harder and harder for me to stay, and I cannot shift the universe any more than I already have. I'm actually pulling codes from where I'm headed to down into this space so I can breathe and be here a little longer. I've done my service here. I've been here many, many times, and I'm done here. I cannot do healing sessions for it will speed up my transition, but I can pull things off of you guys because that's how powerful I am at this point. I don't need to do a session. It'll make me opt out faster. I'm trying to help you guys. One last time. I am transitioning. There's a reason for it. And I'm not forcing it. Y'all better get y'all last little bit up out of me, I'm telling you, because I'm out of here. And I'm not ever coming back here. You have to understand, for me to transition out, that means that I am being killed by all of y'all blockages. You guys, I'm trying to show you something. If all of y'all heart chakras were cleared and everyone was higher selves and oversouls, I could stay.
Before moving on, this would be a good time for me to explain what she means by blockages and chakras. Even if you don't have a clear understanding of what they are, chances are you've at least heard someone refer to the term chakras. They are various focal points used in many ancient meditation practices. The concept of the chakra originates from early traditions of Hinduism. They are localized areas in the body believed to represent energy centers that correspond to nerves, major organs, and areas of our spiritual frame that are said to impact us physically and emotionally. These focal points are said to harvest powerful energy within the body and can be manipulated through meditation and yoga, amongst other things. Take, for example, the root chakra. It's located at the base of the spine and is made up of the pelvic floor and the first 3 vertebrae. People describe this to represent the foundation of the body because when in balance, it's said to provide a sense of security and stability. Many believe it's connected to things humans use to ground themselves, including basic needs such as food, water, shelter, and safety. When these primary needs are met, we worry less and have less anxiety. It's said that when the root chakra is blocked or out of alignment, it can have a negative impact on the body physically and emotionally. Emotional ailments can show up as stress, anxiety disorders, and fear, while physical ailments can manifest as issues with the lower back, bladder, or legs and feet. Though you won't find much scientific evidence supporting the manifestations of spiritual energy regarding chakra alignment, some people believe that when chakras are open and aligned, the body has constant free-flowing energy. And many Americans have begun adopting practices that involve manipulation of root chakras as the concept is introduced more and more by way of yoga, meditation, and New Age practitioners. Though Coleman took the idea of healing power to another level. She believed she could remove blockages from people simply by using her mind, and people believed and trusted in her abilities. One by one, they began asking for favors and for her to pull blockages off of them. Pull me, please. Can I get a body pain cleanse, please? Can I know my life's purpose? What is my life purpose? Where am I from? What is my life's purpose? Can you remove financial blockages for me? Can you heal my womb from past relationships? Can you transcend mine too? Get this off me, sis. The requests kept coming. And being the skeptic that I am, I wasn't surprised to see that the money also followed. What's your Cash App? At least let me donate what I can. I cashed apped you, sis. I left a Cash App. Sending your Cash App. I love you so much. Considering the outcome, I couldn't help but wonder if this was a part of her strategy all along.
Look, I pull everything off of you do not need, and the baby does not need at this time. Dominique, I pull everything off of you do not need at this time. Leandra, I pull everything off of you do not need at this time. Anirika, I pull everything off of you that you do not need at this time. Packages and parasites from you. Oh. My heart chakra felt like it was going to cave in because all y'all heart chakra blockages is in it. Alira, same to you.
She ended her life saying she wouldn't be back, though just a few days later, she returns and writes in the chat, "Sis, I've been creating ways to stay longer. I'm definitely not done with us. Love us. Check your DM. Wholeness, oneness, infinite compassion." And just like that, she was back.